Hello everyone, we are here, we are live, we are ready to go, and we're right back into Kerbal real solar systems. For those people that are new to the stream, the idea that is, it is the real solar system mod. However, everything has been scaled down to Kerbal size, so it's a Kerbal sized Earth with a Kerbal system sized moon and all the rest of that, but with our actual solar system and a whole plethora of other mods that are, some of which are my personal favorites, some of which are new, and all of which are listed down in the description below this video if you want to kind of follow along. And what we got happening, well, actually, let's open up our Kerbal. See, now I don't even know my own mods. Kerbal construction time, there we go. We have a vessel being recovered. That is the Juno 2. That is my jet aircraft. It collected a whole ton of science. I got that science up here, so right off the bat, we have to spend that, and that's going to be part of one of the first things I'm going to be doing. Also being built is my OKTO 1 spacecraft, or what has been affectionately referred to by the people in the chat last episode as the Sharpie, and it is a little over 5 days away. Oh no, that's 5 hours. Sorry, 5 hours away. So we'll be getting to that very, very shortly. And that's going to be my attempt to get myself into orbit. And, well, that's certainly not going to be everything that's going to be going on in this stream, but it's going to be what's going to get us started. And then we'll just sort of see where things take us from there. But let's first off, we got 29 science. Let's take a look at what we got here. This is the Kiwi tech tree. It is a probes before cruise style tech tree. You do not get the ability to put Kerbals into space right off the bat. You have to work your way up to that. Instead, what you're doing is putting uncrewed things into space, and building airplanes. You do get a lot of airplane parts earlier, so right now, but hopefully pretty soon, well, maybe not this stream, but you can see the capsule sort of up around this area up here. But I do have 29 science, and each of these is 15, so I guess that's just one of these. So let's see what we got. We got service modules. Those are supplies. I don't think there's really that much of use there. We have stability, a lot more prop plane or plane parts coming up here. And, oh, well, actually, it looks like really a ton for building really big planes. I'm not going to get into building really big planes. Oh, I do see the retractable landing gear. That's always a plus to get away from the silly, spindly ones. Some bigger fuel tanks, though, to be honest, I kind of broke with the, well, if you watched last week's stream, you know that I kind of worked my way around having to get bigger fuel tanks, so a whole lot of engines, including ignition failure upgrade, but a whole lot of engine. That is definitely a tempting one. And then, what is that? Tiny solid rocket boosters. I'm really thinking more engines. Or if I wait one, I can get into this. Oh, this has... Oh, it's so tempting. Let's start unlocking some more rocket engines. Let's go this way. Let's go with the researching here. Get some more engines. I was really tempted by this flight control one. Actually, I should also be looking at what gets me more science bits. But, oh well, one thing at a time. So anyway, every time you unlock a new tech node, you get new build points to put into here. And those build points you use to build your crafts, you use to upgrade your buildings, and you use to research your technology. So right now I have one build point available. Again, I think that technology is going to be researched pretty quickly. So yeah, it's only going to take 7.5 days. I'm thinking, given everything, I might kind of keep that one on hold. Keep it in reserve, as it were. So why don't we... recover our one craft here. Definitely fuel tanks. Oh, well, I've already gone someplace else. Missed that one. Okay, so we recovered our plane, and I want to make some small modifications to this plane. And what's really nice now is that plane is sitting in the hangar, and we can edit it, and it's available for us to launch whenever we want. But what I want to do first, I want to do the orbit thing. That's going to be my first mission. I'll probably get back to the plane in a little bit. All right, so here is the Juno plane. It is kind of dorky looking. It's got missing parts. But what I want to do is, well, one thing I want to do is I kept telling myself last stream to upgrade these ailerons because they're too twitchy. So I'm going to get into the control of these. They're there to control roll. Oh, I must have already done it. 6 degrees looks about right. I know why. Yes, because... yeah, let's just save it here. Because it got recovered that way. This is the recovered vessel. So let's... okay, we'll save that there, and we'll add that to our plans. So I did fix... okay. Also, the science. I think some of this science is no longer collectible. So we're going to get into the science archive that Kerbalism provides for us. And we're going to click here on just what is available on this craft. And let's see. We can go through each one here. So I think some of these, like the mystery goo. There we go. Mystery goo is only landed and flying low. I've collected both of those. Notice neither of them are biome specific. So that means that there is no sense of keeping the mystery goo because this can't go flying high. So we'll throw the mystery goo off. That's fine. The pressure scan, is that? That is biome specific. So we're going to keep the the barometer on there. And you can see that I've collected it all over the oceans and over the forest, but what I'd like to do is go find some tropics. So I think that will be the next mission. We have a crew report. That's also biome specific. I've collected everything, so well, you can't get rid of the crew report anyway, as long as you have a Kerbal. The radiation scan. Oh no, biome specific on the surface, but not flying. So if I go and land someplace, we can collect some more radiation scans. So I'll keep it on there. And the thermometer, for some reason, is being dorky. Why? There we go. Oh, it's biome specific. Okay, so it was only the goo that needed to go. But I do have a new piece of equipment. I now have the double C seismic accelerometer. Let's throw this on here. And the double C seismic accelerometer, looking at the science scans, it only does landed, but it is biome specific. So we can do one right off on the runway. And we can also... I should actually take a look at this. What kind of details does this give me? Sorry, let's open up that science. I find it easiest to get this in the science archive. Oh my gosh, already got too many windows going. There. Get out of the way, Kerbal Engineer. There. Okay, seismic scan. That's what I wanted to look at. I gotta look at its, oh my gosh, it takes 14 days to collect the... okay, I'm glad I looked here. Notice, with Kerbalism, it takes time to collect experiments, and the seismic scan takes 14 days. This is something better to put on a probe. 14 days. So what I think I might just do is put this on a little probe. Yeah, okay, we're going to take it off because I'm not going to spend 14 days with a Kerbal. Okay, so that's it then. Let's line these up a little nicer. Let's put them like this and like this. So only the goo came off. All right, that's that. Save that. Save the edits. That will save the one that's being... now, it does take some time to make the changes, but because my changes were very minor, that's only 2 minutes of time being changed. Yeah, I'm being pointed out that the seismic scan does take a long period of time. I'm glad I went back and checked that. All right, so that's going to take a couple of minutes. What I also want to do is take that Juno that I just have. It's sort of weird. With Kerbal construction time, you actually have 3 different places that your vessels are being stored. One is here in the space plane hangar. So if I load this up, this is the one that I just saved in the space plane hangar. One is in the construction queue itself, which is right here. This is the Juno here that's being built. But one is also in the plans. And you kind of want... it's easy to get those 3 kind of out of sync with each other, so I'm always really careful to make sure that the one saved in the plans, the one being constructed, and the one saved in the spaceplane hangar are all the same one. And I've gotten kind of burned on that one in the past, so I'm a little, careful about that. All right. Yeah, planes are very silly looking until you get some better parts. There's no doubt about that. Okay, so that is happening there. And I want to take a look at contracts. And I was actually scouting this out a little bit already. I already have contracts for getting into orbit and stuff. But on the K-planes front, we did a bunch of these last time. We flew a plane. We got to at least 3 kilometers. We got to an airspeed of 100 meters per second, and we traveled a short distance, 50 kilometers. There's also the build a seaplane. I don't know. Might get into that. There's land on the helipad. That is, I'm assuming, the one that's on top of the vehicle assembly building. Maybe I should check that to be sure. That could be worth a giggle or two. Don't know if I'm going to get to these today, but I'm looking with the plane I got. I think I can do these ones. Get to 5 kilometers. I think I can get that high. Travel 100 kilometers in distance. That's like a domestic flight. That I can definitely do. We're going to go hunting for tropics, so it might be a good opportunity to try and do that. And we need to achieve an airspeed of 220 meters per second. I'm pretty sure I can do that too. So, boop, we're going to collect those. And these are from the K-Planes contract pack. There's a whole... This is only the first batch of them. They are in 3 different categories here, which is kind of neat. I like the way they're organized. And the reason why I have K-Planes is because K-Planes is planet system neutral. I found with ones I usually use, like giving aircraft purpose, they really need you to be flying around Kerbin, and K-Planes is great. It is planet agnostic, so the fact that I'm on Earth instead of Kerbin doesn't seem to bother it. So that's why I went with the K-Planes, and I found a nice, you know, my hunt to do that, and with some help tracking it down, that kind of gave me a new contract pack that I'm actually beginning to enjoy. Okay, so we've got our Juno. Let's time warp to the completion of the OKTO 1. There we go. Looks like we're going to get a nice sunrise, and we're going to have to roll it out. That only takes a couple minutes. Then we're going to try and see if we can get that into orbit. That's what we're going to start with, and then we'll see where we go from there. I always like with these streams to sort of keep them relatively unplanned. I don't want to work out a whole bunch of stuff ahead of time. So after this, I don't know. We'll see where we go. Probably fly the plane one more time, but definitely want to build something new. All right, so here it is. Let's get our contracts organized. I've been calling it the OKTO 1, but in the chat, and now it's gotten into the YouTube comments, it's been referred to as the Sharpie, and I 100% understand the reason why. So I'll try and keep it to that. Oh, there is a cross the radiation belts. Let's see if we can do that, but we're going to go for a low orbit first. We have, okay, these are all about planes. There's Orbit Earth and another Orbit Earth. They're coming from 2 different contract packs. Okay, so we got 3 contracts, but 2 of them are simply to orbit the Earth, to get into an appropriate orbit of the Earth. So we're going to go for that. We're going to go for that. We're going to go for that. I always hate building something and then waiting a week and then flying it, because I'm always sort of nervous because I feel like I've, you know, there's something that I'm forgetting to do, but I don't think so. So I'm going to throttle up. This is my first rocket that has SAS, thanks to the OKTO core that's inside there, but I'm pretty sure I just need to bang this puppy off. So let's just do a brief count. 3, 2, 1, go. Here we're off. Okay. And here, let's get going a little bit, and then we'll start our gravity turn. This thing isn't the most agile of rockets. I think I might wait. Let's go a little higher. Usually I start that turn around 75 or 50 meters per second, but I'm going to go a little higher. Okay, and I'm going to try and see if I just take off the SAS, if it will just follow along with that prograde vector. That's what I'm kind of hoping for. So people were talking about the fuel tanks, so I could have gotten bigger fuel tanks, but you can see I already have bigger fuel tanks, but they're the Mark 1 liquid fuel tanks, and so some people might be a little bit confused. I'm going to actually start pitching over a little bit further. Didn't knock over enough. Aren't those just liquid fuel tanks? How do you have liquid fuel and oxidizer in them? Because I have a contract pack, or a mod, sorry, called Sorry, I'm concentrating and flying. I'm not going over steep enough. I have a mod called Tank Configurator, I think it is. Or Container. Oh my god, I got it wrong last week and I'm going to get it wrong again. Something. Container config. It's in the mods. Container something. Which you can use to edit the tanks and turn them into whatever you want. I'm going to reduce my throttle. I feel like I'm going kind of fast. I really would love to see this time to apoapsis at some point, but I got to upgrade the tracking station for that. Very steep ascent, but my apoapsis is already pretty high. Let's just leave it there. Okay, turn that off. Apoapsis is now almost 82 kilometers. So we'll just kind of coast up there. And I even think I might have some primitive... Oops. If I put this on and steer... Yeah, I do have... Yeah, I have reaction wheels now. Some primitive reaction wheels, too. I didn't think I had it last week, but I can see now I can... So this is making all of this quite a lot easier. Okay, gotta stay close to that prograde vector. Should have been paying attention to science, too. All that science is running. Yep. None of it's being transmitted yet because I've yet to up the antenna. Still got a lot of data space, so that's good. So the idea with this one is just really to get up, finish these two contracts, maybe cross a radiation belt, and collect a whole lot of science from orbit. Okay, I can extend our antenna. There it goes. Configurable containers. Thank you. I was in the ballpark. Oh my gosh, it's so nice having like some reaction wheels. I don't think I think they're just the reaction wheels that are in here. Yeah, there is a wheel authority, so yeah, I got reaction wheels in that probe body. Okay, whoa, 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 whoa. Throttle up. Throttle up, you fool. Oh my gosh. We're getting close to apoapsis. So I'm keeping... I want to keep this apoapsis pretty close by, so I'm pitching down a little. I don't want to let this get too big on me. Whoops. Sorry. A little bit of a finger mix-up and went for the X, and there we go. I'm going to go with that. So we're 76 by 84. I'm very, very happy with that. We're going to rotate this and put it onto this north line here. We are in an inclined orbit, so I'm going to go, I think, yeah, away from the planet so that this is vertical on the screen. And that's for the sunlight, to help me out with the sunlight. So my solar panels are exposed. We are collecting... Oh, all we got's a radiation scan that's being collected. We should be transmitting all of our stuff. And we're also going to be in a bit of an inclined orbit, as you can see, because we're launching from the Cape Canaveral, and that is not on the equator, which forces you into an inclined orbit. So hopefully, we're just going to hang out here. Now, there are radiation belts I should show people. These come with Kerbalism mod. If you press 0 on the numpad, you can see your radiation belts. Right now, we're tucked below. The inner belt is this one. And you can see, I think we're just... Well, we might actually cross it anyway. But I want to get this one contract. Still have 668 meters per second, so easy. I don't have to bring this back down. And also, when it comes to the radiation scan that's aboard here, it's not just high space, low space, and all that kind of stuff. It is in the magnetosphere, if you look right now. And then if you get into the inner belt, there is a scan. And then if you get into the outer belt, which is this zone, it's another scan. And if you can get yourself out of the magnetosphere altogether, it's another. I don't think I have the DV for that. I'm looking as well that I probably could have timed this better. It'd be nice if the inclination kind of matched the way the magnetic fields are, but they don't. Yeah, 90K should... we might just cross a belt anyway. Is there any kind of restrict... So these guys are done. Just says cross a radiation belt. But I'm looking like... It looks to me like, because we're coming close to a pole here, we may just cross a belt as it is. Okay, the radiation scan is done. Let's see if we cross a belt. Yeah, see? Just crossed the belt right there because we dipped down as low as we did. So we're now in the inner belt. And you can see we're collecting some science in the inner belt. We didn't even have to change our orbit. So that worked out all right. Whether we're going to be in here for 7 minutes, I don't know. Nope. Definitely not. I think we're out of the belt now again, right? Yeah, we're back in the magnetic. So let's see here. What can we do? I'm thinking... Oh, I can't do maneuver nodes. This is very sketchy. You're just kind of dipping in and out. I'm thinking if I do a burn around here and push this part out into the inner belt here. So that's what I'm thinking about. And I don't think I need to be very high. Maybe about 200 kilometers? Let's go to here and push our apoapsis to 200 kilometers. Let's try that. Someone's saying 90 kilometers, but I want to spend some time in there. And I got the DV for it. And this thing doesn't need to come back. So this is what I'm thinking. Right around here. And push this part of our orbit into this belt. So, in here, you can actually, if you press just one, you just have the inner belt. That's all I'm looking at. Okay, so push it onto prograde. Push that out. Watch that apple. Actually, I can just watch it on here, can't I? So I'm right into the middle of this whole belt region. About there. 300 kilometers. 318. That should finish that off. And again, I want to orient this for the solar panels. And whenever you're in an inclined orbit, the easiest thing to do is look for that north-south circle. Get it onto there. And then I can see I need to tilt towards the planet, so I start tilting this way until it's vertical on the screen. And then you have a nice orientation for your solar panels. Alright, let's go get... Okay, all our contracts is done. Get rid of that. Let's go get to those belts. And then maybe what we'll do is we'll go for an outer belt too, because that's another biome. All that data is transmitted now. Yep. So we're just going up. There it is. So we're collecting now radiation scan in the inner belt. Doing a little bit of experimentation with our Van Kerman belts, learning about them. So at some point we're going to need to send Kerbals out this way. Shoot, did I get it all? Oh, now it says magnetosphere again. Oh, did I went too high. Look at that. I'm popping up out of it. Right out there. Silly inclined orbit. I've just popped out, and now we're popping back in. Okay, there we go. We got it all. All right, let's get the outer belt. So that's pressing 2. Lets us see the outer belt. And again, I was thinking... The best plan might be, again, to come around here and push. Thing is when I push here... No, the better plan... Look at it on edge. No, maybe that is the better plan. Get again right around there. Push it prograde. More science! Oh, we did some temperature scanning space high. I didn't even notice that. Telemetry report space high. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, again, right around here, I think. So we're pushing this out into... It's so hard because everything's 3D. They really have a sense of where these zones are. So I want to get myself into this zone here. This zone. Pushing that out. Still have over 400 meters per second of DV. With no plans to deorbit this thing, we'll just leave it out here. How's that look? I think so. That looks like to me like it would be in there. Again, we'll orient for solar panels. All this science is going back home. We should be 60.7 science back home. Oh my golly. Oh my golly. This is turning into a motherload of science. A motherload of science for us. Alright, again, we'll just time warp. And out in this region, we should be getting, there it is, doing a radiation scan in Earth outer belt. And these radiation belts are harmful to Kerbals, by the way. They're also harmful to electronics. The electronics, if the probe spends too much time out here, will eventually get roasted. All right, so that is done. Okay. Can you revert, or are you on hard mode? At this point, I'm not going to revert. I never take off. I would never in KSP completely get rid of the ability to revert, because sometimes the Kraken just says it's going to mess with you. And I don't think it's fair to have to put up with that. Oh, this is not... I realize now I should have been pushing out in this direction here. And so I don't revert as long as the launch. So at this point I won't revert, no matter what happens. But if I got, like, you know, if something funky happened right at launch, or if I'm doing a landing and the landing gear decide they're going to blow up on me, whoops, that's not what I meant to do, then I would revert. So I guess the short answer is no. I think you can deorbit this craft with the leftover fuel. I definitely can't. Oh, wait, I'm looking at the... I was about to think about pushing my orbit out to here, and then I noticed these 64 meters per second. So, no, there's no... You're right. Let's deorbit. I was getting way ahead of myself and not even looking at how much fuel I had left and see if I could get myself out of the magnetosphere, and there's just no way. So we're going to get out towards our apoapsis. Again, I don't know exactly where that is. I guess you can tell by... Whoops. Oh, there. We're going back down, so we just passed apoapsis. We're going to put it on retrograde. We're going to burn. Oh, leave it out there for solar flare science. I forgot about that. You're right. We'll leave it out here. We're going to leave it out here. I'm not going to do anything to it. Caught me just before I did that retrograde burn and deorbited this thing. But you're right. When there's a coronal mass ejection from the sun, we can collect science for that. So there, that's it. Okay, we're going to leave this out here. It's going to collect that, hopefully. We're going back to Space Center. And it does all that stuff in the background. I love the fact that in Kerbalism, science is collected in the background. Wow. It sounds like you had a bit of weather. A little bit of everything. Philip. Yep. Thank you for catching me on that, Michael. I almost deorbited it. Anyway, let's get it. We got 64.6 science. Now I will get... I want to get this guy going with little tiny motors, RCS, an upgrade on the S. I bet you that's a lock to prograde type of deal. A little RCS, the mono directional place anywhere RCS blocks. We got a smart part here too. Okay, let's look down. Why is it? There we go. Oh, it was weird. I couldn't... There, now it moves. I thought I was dragging it and moving it. Not that, but I don't need really... Oh, better... Okay, improvements. I love these upgrades on the electronics, but then really huge solar panels. I don't know if I really need that. That I don't... I'm looking kind of at science. I want more science parts. Electrics. What do we got here? Oh, radially mounted camera. Cute. That's cute. I want that. Oh, we have scanners for SCANsat. And Science Juniors. And KOS. KOS Probe Cores. Okay, okay. This is on my list. Oh, that might finish it. That's all I got. I don't care. I'm going for it. Going for it there. So we got a couple of science things going in an uneven way. Let's see what our upgrades say for us. That might not have been the smart thing, but I saw KOS Probe Core and I saw SCANsat parts and I went, I must have that. I must have that. So tech. So it's going to take almost 15 days. I don't think I'm going to be building a plane anytime soon. Let's see. This is at 0.6. Let's put 1 point to researching technologies. So I got to go to the R&D center. We'll step that up. We're now researching 4 science a day. So all of these times got cut in half. And we'll go to the VAB and we'll put the other ones. You could also start a second bay and have 2 vehicles being built at the same time. I don't think I'm ready for that just yet. Soon, but not just yet. So I'll put these here. There we go. All right. We'll build something. Oh, yeah. I know what I wanted to build. Let's get rid of all these messages. These pile up. Let's get in and take a look at contracts. Looking at contracts. What do we got yet? Relay set. I haven't even gone to the moon yet. I'm not going to put a relay. Start exploring the moon. So it's just a flyby? Just any experiment, recover or transmit. Anyway, I'm assuming this is, yeah, fly by the moon. Okay. So that's something worth considering. This has to do with getting a Kerbal into orbit. So that's going to have to wait for the future. We got, oh, I got a whole pile of K-plane stuff already. We got first Kerbal into orbit. Not ready for that yet. Maybe not far off. Again, fly by the moon. That might be what they want us to do, isn't it? Position in a specific orbit a Kerbin. Now, this is trickier than it might appear because of our inclined... this might be an interesting one to try in a little bit. Oh, man. A position of Mars? Seriously? I like the order these come at you sometimes. Oh, and then we got SCANsat contracts, but those haven't been locked yet. We have tourism. Kick off your space tourism by... What do I got to do? Have to have at least a pilot, launch pad. Oh, I got to get into orbit. Okay. Let's put this stuff on hold. If I'm going to go start thinking about the moon, yes, I want to upgrade the tracking station, and that's only 150,000. So let's do that. Okay, and that's going to take some time to do. We take a look at... Where does it show that? Nope. Tracking station is going to take 12 days. Okay. Close that. Upgrade the Space Center and add... Yeah, you're way ahead of me, Max. That's what I just did. Started getting the track... I already have mission control upgraded, so that should get me maneuver nodes, and I really, really want that for getting to the moon, because just to show people that aren't used to real solar system, even when it's Kerbin-sized, is the moon is not as easy to get to. Let's turn off all those stupid lines there, and let's turn that off there. Than it is in... The moon is not quite as easy to get to. One, because it is further away. Like in the stock game, the moon is 12,000 kilometers away. Here it is over 3 times that. And also, it's in an inclined orbit, like the real moon is. So, okay. This orbit should be pretty easy to hit. I might think about that. All right. Too many things to think about. So... Vat. You know what we're going to do? We're going to fly our plane and we're going to think about what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. Whether to go for the moon first or go for plunking some satellites up first. But what we're going to do first is we're going to fly our plane. Yes. because our plane is all ready to go. So in the space plane hangar, we can launch the Juno 2. Sure, Jebediah is fine. Fill tanks and launch. We got some contracts for this. The satellites do make some sense, because I can build the satellites with existing technology. It might be nicer to take some higher technology out to the moon. I can hit, once I have maneuver nodes, I can hit the moon. Oh, but it's going to take 12. Yes, satellites. I'm going to wait for the tracking station to be built. Okay, here we go. Here we go. What are we doing? We are going to go for a flight. We got some contracts we're going to do. So, number 1. Where are contracts? Contracts. Right here. So we got to achieve a speed of 220 meters per second. And wow, that's weird. I hope that's... Okay, now they're there. Just said parameter. See that? Parameter. There. And then it populates. Okay. And it's got to be in a level flight. That makes sense. Come back and land. We've got to go to an altitude of at least 5 kilometers. Come back and land. And we've got to travel a distance of 100 kilometers, and I suspect, yes, there's a waypoint for us to aim at. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to locate said waypoint. So if I open up the right one, which is Waypoint Manager, right there, and there it is, it's this distance marker. So we're, oh, okay, we're over this way. We're already pointing sort of in the right direction. So if we go to that and then come back, it knows we did 100 kilometers, and that should be fine. And yeah, these all should be, I'm hoping, pretty easy. We'll see. Fire this up. There is no science being collected, so we can just go. We can just go. Yes. So SAS on, throttle up. That goes there. Oh, put on our autopilot, and let's go. And this is a pretty decent little plane. Might try. Oh, come on, take off. Off. Wow, there it goes. I was bragging at your abilities, and you really didn't want to take off for me. So we're just going to go straight for that way. We can lock it right onto the waypoint, which is great. We can get up to an altitude of 5 kilometers. 5,000, yes, meters. That's cool. Climb rate, yeah. So let's go to this waypoint and engage that, and it should just head out there. All right, we're off. We'll see how she does. Let's control our throttle here a little bit. We can actually get it to control our throttle. Let's say 250 meters per second is the fastest we want to go. But I think it should be able to get. I never tested it, but it should be able to get to this altitude. We'll find out pretty soon. Yeah, stock Mimis is a little further than... so going to Luna is a little bit like actually going to stock Mimis, now that you mention it. I don't think I'm locked to this waypoint. There we go. There we go. So although I've achieved a speed of 220 meters per second, I'm climbing, so it doesn't consider this level flight just yet. But I want to get to altitude first. I'm not sure it'll get there. Then we're going to go hunt for some tropics. People have been telling me there's tropics in around these little islands out here. So I might see if I can take advantage of that. Okay, we are at altitude. Do we have to stay here for a certain amount of time? Is that what it's telling me? No, I just got to land. Okay, so the altitude part is done. The speed part is done. We just got to get to this waypoint. And then we're going to go look for some tropics. Do I have any videos for the best mods for KSP? That's a great question. The short answer is no. I've never done a these are my top 10 essential mods type of thing. If you catched any of these streams, you start to get the kind that I really like, because I tend to populate it with a lot of the same sort of mods. Things like Kerbalism and Kerbal Construction Time and Kerbal Engineer and things like that. I don't go heavy for part mods. I kind of like making things very stock-ish. So I don't get into the very heavy mods that are very heavy part count type mods. So no, I've not made a best, what are the best mods to get, because I'm never quite sure what to focus on, because I think different people will tell you different things for best mods, especially for things like parts. There's just things I don't particularly like, but other people would love. Okay, did I pass the waypoint yet? There it goes. Okay, so that's the waypoint taken care of. So now I got to just come back and land. But what I want to look for, let's get down to a lower altitude, first of all. Let's try 3 kilometers. And let's go heading over towards these islands. So I'm assuming that's sort of towards the south. Heading that way. Okay, check our craft settings. Yep. Somebody else was saying, some people were talking about these islands. A little further. As being sources for tropical science. Some people were talking just heading over towards Mexico. But if I, I'm thinking these islands would be pretty good. Let's see. Maybe even a little further. Thinking coming over. Let's actually even reduce our altitude even more. And reduce our speed more. Whoa, where are you? Whoa, 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 I just put in... What did I do? What did I do? Where are you going? I put in 340. I don't want 340. I meant to put in like 240. This is the problem with doing this by numbers. Okay, let's reduce our speed now that we're lower. Okay. Everything's okay. Actually, let's really reduce our speed, because if we find this... I know, that's why I'm eager to do the SCANsat. Those bits just mentioned there by No Mercy. Once I get the SCANsat going, then I can just look. So I am eager to get SCANsat up. But I'm thinking of like trying to see if does flying over these islands do it for me. If not, we're going to go to Mexico. We're going to hightail it for Mexico. If it doesn't. Oh, I'm getting something here. Oh, low shores. Well, that's interesting. Let's lower our speed even more. Now it's low tropics. Oh, the tropics are sketchy here. There was tropics there for a moment, and then it went to shores. Okay, I'm going to take control of this. I'm just going to fly around. So now it's shores, I think. Oh, and now it's nothing. Okay, let's go to this bigger island and see what we get. Let's go north or south along this line is being suggested. Let's go over to this island. I want to fly over an island. So just going straight north and straight south and just go back and forth along this line. I tried going to Cuba last time and it wasn't tropical. I don't think. Okay, oh, my speed control is still on. That's why it's being, the throttle's being weird. Okay, Okay, I'm going to just kind of buzz over this island and see what this does. I think, for these contracts, actually have to get back to the hangar. I do. Yes, so I've got to be a little careful. Okay, here we got flying low over tropics. Okay, slow down. This is tropics, apparently. So why don't we just kind of scoot along. There we go. Do a little bit of this. So I got to make sure I got myself enough fuel to get back to the KSC. So we're getting some tropics now. It's going to take a long time to get all that pressure scan. Working on the temperature scan too. Oh, now it's saying shores. Oh my gosh, it's tropics and shores out here. Ooh, I like this one. It's like a reef just below the water. That looks cool. Nice how they did that. Losing track. What is this still? Shores again. Waypoint's still blinking. I don't know. I don't know if I have the patience to hang out as long as this is going to take. So still 8.5 minutes here. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? I don't know. I am going at 2 times speed, but I'm not comfortable flying. Try landing on this island. I don't think so. Not with these little legs. Nope. I don't think I am going to try and land. Maybe once we have the retractable landing gear that are much tougher. Okay, now, okay, turning around again. I think I'm just going to do one more pass, and then I think we're going to go back. Yeah, you could definitely come out here. It's pretty hilly. It's being suggested to come out here with a helicopter. That I can see. What I think I'll do is go out to this island, turn around, do one more pass back up it again, and then head back home. Mostly because of time. I got quite a lot of fuel still, but I don't want to spend too much time doing all this. I don't think this is the most exciting of streaming potential here. So we got a little bit of shores, a little bit of tropics. But maybe that's not a bad idea for future streams, to build a helicopter and head out this way. Actually, where is my runway here? That's the run. Okay, it's way back there. Wow. I don't even know where I am. We'll go this way until this science runs out. Okay. We'll turn around. And back, and then we'll just continue on to the KSC. How far are we? We're 64 kilometers from home. How much science do I have? Let's see here. So far I have transmitted 4.1 science home. So not a lot. That's got me up to 8.8 all told. Oh yeah, I'll definitely climb up to a higher altitude when we head back. For sure. I'm not going to scoot back at this altitude. It'll be less fuel to go up and then come back down. Just going to keep following this island. Still says tropics. A lot of that barometer science. I like these bits that are just below the water. That looks good. Okay, still collecting some tropic stuff. Oh, now it's all done. Okay, so let's lock onto the waypoint. And, oh, temperature across the shores is done. So lock on the waypoint. Let's get to an altitude of, I don't know, whatever. Let's just engage this. Where are we going? Where are you going? Waypoint. Waypoint, waypoint, waypoint. What waypoint do you think you're going to? There we go. That's better. And a little more speed. We should be climbing up too. I don't know what's going on here. Waypoint. That's engaged. Nope. Vertical motion, altitude 1500. Oh, you know what might be needing? Oh no, it needs more. Oh my gosh, my speed. Speed. What the heck? There. Okay, wait. That's what was going on. It was all confusedified with the speed. Just fly. Speed control. But I had the speed control off, but for some reason I don't know. I don't know what was going on. Okay, let's engage this again and see what happens. There, now it's being normal. Yeah, the speed was being very weird. And now I'll put on the speed control and tap it out about 250 meters per second. Heading home. Contracts here. I think all our data is definitely transmitted. So how much science all told? 6.2 science. 6.2 science. Yeah, I think, I had the speed control off and the throttle down. That sounds like me. Yes, I had the throttle down because I was cruising over the islands, and then I just said go up to an altitude, and it goes okay, and it was trying to get to altitude with the throttle really low. So all it was doing was stalling all the time. That makes sense. Okay. Somehow my altitude got changed to 2031.4. I don't know why. Okay, my angle to the runway. Yeah, let's start dipping back down. So I'm going to bring this altitude down to 200 meters. And we're going to take the speed control off. We're going to cut our throttle completely. Just let this thing go down. And I'm going to do a quick save at this point. People were asking about, do I play on hardcore mode? This is the exact kind of situation where I do not play on hardcore mode. Because it scares the hexers out of me. Okay, let's put this speed at 100. That's the altitude dummy. The speed control at 100. There are no flaps or anything on this thing, so if I want to slow down, I have to just do like steep turns and that kind of stuff. Here we go. Alright, I'm taking control from you. Take speed control off. Head this way. Brakes are on. You know what's putting the brakes on is if I go to the thrust controller, it does have the option to use the brakes. I really shouldn't be looking at this right now. But that's what put on the brakes. It was like I need to slow down, and it was putting on the brakes in case you have air brakes toggled to that action group, which is not a strange thing to do. Do I have drogue chutes? Nope. I don't put chutes on anything but, you know, real planes that need it. Okay. I think my speed's okay. I'm not time warping. It just feels fast. Okay, let's put her down. There we go. All of that, and then this is... Yeah. Boop. All right. That on, and as soon as I stop, I should get all these going green. Oh, thank you very much, Dino. Just signed on as a novice Rocketeer, and there we go. We have all three of these all completed. That should be actually more science on top of what I've already collected, as well as some cash. Turn that off, and we will recover you back to the spaceplane hangar. I think I'm going to build a rocket to do some of those satellite contracts. And then I'm considering the whole helicopter thing, but not for this week. That's something to consider for the future. Okay, so where are we at? We got that. We got that. No experience for Jebediah, of course. We got a bunch of messages that I'm just going to delete because there's... There. And 19.8 science. I think that should be another node. Let's think about that. Yeah, they're 15 each. Stability might not be a bad idea. I got all kinds of... I wonder if I have... I don't want to get into the stock turboshaft engines or these kind of things. I really, really hate them, but I'm thinking there might be... I have to experiment or look around to see... Oh, look at those. Those are cute. If there are... any of these that actually are designed for helicopters. That would be neat. But I do have the retractable landing gear. That in itself. Oh, and the Weasley jet engine too. And the crew cabin. Okay. That makes things serious. Okay. And what else we got? Bigger... Maybe I should just do bigger fuel cans. Bigger fuel cans. There we go. Bigger fuel cans are being researched. Bigger fuel cans are being researched. Okay, so that is being recovered. Our plane's being recovered. Let's get into taking a look at those satellite contracts. Actually, I think if I come out here, I can actually see the orbits. Unlock the fuel tanks and stop cheating with that tank configuration mod. Okay, so we got this orbit. And then there is this... Oh, whoa. Some of these are retrograde. So this one's a prograde orbit. This fella here is a retrograde orbit. Oh, and the other one was around Mars. So let's... Retrograde. Okay, let's start with this one. This doesn't look so bad to do. I think we can do this. So let's grab this lower altitude one. So we'll get out of here. You might have to do stock turboshaft engines for a helicopter. Oh, okay. Yeah. And you know what's going to happen if I do that is I'll spend an entire stream trying to build a helicopter and it still won't work by the end of it. What do I want to do? What do I want to do? Well, I wanted to look at satellites. That's what I wanted to do. And there's this one. Position 1 around Earth. Yeah, inclination 4.2 degrees, which is trickier than it looks because we are at a latitude of 28 degrees. But sure, let's do that. It'll be some good practice before we get heading towards the moon. And let's take a look at the K-planes. What's still going on with K-planes? So there's a seaplane, and you know, I could build a seaplane and go to those islands. I don't think that's a stupid idea. That might be more practical than building a helicopter. A long-haul flight, go at least 300 kilometers continental. Land on a mountaintop. I think I might never do this one. Land on a mountaintop. Not going to go there. And then what I'm starting to see these now, early K-planes development, get up to 7 kilometers, which is the stratosphere. I'm sure I could do that. And achieve 343, so that's like Mach 1, isn't it? Well, with the contracts coming, those should be easy. Let's look at the satellite one. Let's look at the satellite one. So I do not have. I'm trying to think of the delta V requirements to do that without having to get into the math, and I don't want to get into the math, so we're probably just going to end up winging it. Where is our technology situation? If I wait a couple of days, I'll have general rocketry. What does general rocketry do for me? I should look at that. Hello, Joy, and welcome. I have landed on those kind of things on mountaintops, Kaverick as well. There was, oh my god, I can't remember what the contract pack was that had you actually rescuing Kerbals from the tops of mountains. And I've done it. I've done it with helicopters. I've done it with VTOLs. And it's, to do it live, I don't know. I'll have to think about it. I'll have to think of, not today. Where am I going? What am I doing? What am I doing? I was going to go, yes, what does this get me when I research it? The general rocketry. All kinds of rocket engines. Let's do that. Let's research all those rocket engines. So general rocketry is being researched. Okay, and we are going into here. We're going to build something to do that satellite contract. Oh, a probe too. Yes. Oh, I should get a probe doing one of those seismic scan thingies. That's another thing. But someone's talking about a cargo plane just going around and dropping them. I might just build a rocket and just do it that way. Let's see. So, I should have... I got my OKTO. What do I got for engines now? I do have the little spark engine now. I do like me my little spark engine. So if I do that, and I'm just thinking of building an actual little probe sort of a deal. Check that off, come to here. A Mark 0 Junior can. You know what? I can use a couple of these Oscar A's. See, and then you can get this guy into orbit. Oh my gosh, that's still like a ton of delta V. Oh, what I wouldn't do for a little ant engine right now. That doesn't work. I don't have any kind of fairings, right? Oh, I do. Oh, this thing's too big. So this is what kind of I'm thinking. The little nose cone on top of you. It's going to look like a Sharpie again. I don't think there's any science for me to get, so it's just going to be purely to do the... Purely to do that contract. It's going to be a stupid thing. But then, what I'm thinking about is, what do I got for decouplers? I got the TD-6 decoupler, and then I got, under structure, I got this little guy to go to a bigger diameter. And then I got a bunch of these Mark 1 fuel cans, which I'm going to cheat my way, edit the tanks, take out the liquid fuel, replace it with LFO. There we go. Maybe like 3 of these. And then what kind of engines do we have? We have... Well, I don't think anything's going to beat the swivel that I've already got unlocked. I do have the Reliant, but I don't know if I have the means... Oh, there are some reaction wheels now. I think I'll try the swivel again, just for the gimbaling. Like, seriously, this thing should be able to do it, shouldn't it? Shouldn't it? I mean, easy. Very easily. We're going to seriously overbuild this. Where's some batteries? Let's calm this down a little bit. Put a couple of batteries on top instead. This is, I suppose, the OKTO 2. I wish I had a smaller engine here, because this is a ridiculously powerful engine for what I'm trying to do with it. Some tail fins on the bottom. That looks good with that on there. A little communication antenna. You know, if I really stupidly overbuild this, then I could do that other satellite contract with it as well. And yeah, I could probably do a Luna flyby too with this. It's I'm actually waiting for the maneuver nodes. Like, maybe just build something really big and just use it multiple times. Just realized this still has... Gotta edit this tank again. That's what I'm thinking. Build a single rocket with a ridiculous quantity of Delta V in it. Sure. So 6,000. What would be the flyby of the moon? Someone told me it takes like 1,000 meters per. That sounds about right. 1,000 meters, 60. Yeah, this should even do a flyby of the moon. Easy. Let's see here. But its first job, we're gonna reduce throttle here a little bit for atmospheric takeoff. It is not a pretty cuss, is it? Well, that just changes that. Can I not change the... There we go. It's gonna go white all the way up. Still going to be a Sharpie rocket. Gold in the middle, even though you can't see that. Do I have launch clamps or anything like that? I do not. Oh, I do! Look at that! These two together. Honestly, I'm thinking of just kind of going for it. Now, what do I have for smart parts? I have so little automation going. I do have a DrainX smart part. Nah, let's just stay away from it. We'll do it all manually. I don't know. Let's see what this does. What am I doing? No, I don't want to hide that. I want to. I want to simulate the buttons down here. Oh my gosh. RP1, the button's up here on the right. Here it's down there. No behind the solars. I don't know what that means. Solars are placed on top of the probe. Oh, I'm in the middle of a... Yeah, those are batteries, not reaction wheels. I do have some external reaction wheels. I just don't think I'm going to need them. There are reaction wheels built into the probe core, and I'm thinking I could put on more. All right, so let's see what happens here. So T and Z and go. And what I'm interested in is just how much DV does this have by the time it gets itself into orbit. We'll knock over a little bit. Oh, wow. We've got lots and lots of attitude control. That's not an issue. Okay, let this kind of guide up on its own naturally, just kind of following the prograde vector. I've got my hands away from the keyboard. SAS is off. It's kind of doing a natural gravity turn, which I will take away from it if I have to. Try to rocket. So it's sort of falling over. It's falling over a little quickly, so I'm just going to put SAS on just temporarily. Sort of, I'm going to reduce throttle a little bit too. It feels like it's accelerating quickly. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. That's me. That was my fault. I'm bad. Oh dear. Okay. Let's just restart that. Oh, I have to do it this way. Restart simulate. I wasn't paying attention. Okay, T and Z and go. Oh, for goodness sakes. Just had an engine failure. Which happens. Okay, restart it again. That's always a possibility. Try and fly it better this time. I let it get too far away from its prograde vector last time. That was on me. Okay, knocking it over. Okay. And just let it... See again. Let it follow its own natural progress up. Once that tracking station's unlocked, I'll have time to apoapsis, which is super duper handy. Okay, I'm going to put SAS back on, try and kind of reduce the rate at which this is falling, take over manually, as it were. Oh. No, I wasn't falling over. Okay, we're good. You know, I don't like the night launches, but because you don't see the rocket as well on the streams, but the flames sure do look pretty. Yeah, reduce throttle a little. Getting some red glowiness happening. I think that's all fine. The game over-exaggerates that part. Flamey rockets are hardly bad. Okay, I'm going to undo that. Let that coast on up. I don't use the cap locks a lot. Sometimes I use it for powered landings, and that's about it. To put it on fine throttle control. But I'm sort of a, like if I put these back on, where am I doing? I'm kind of a tapper. I do this. I'm a tapper when it comes to these controls. So I think that's probably part of the reason why. For me, it's not a biggie. Let's see. So I think this thing's going to have a ton of delta V once I've still got orbit. I'm honestly thinking it just... Ooh, do not have a lot of electricity. Oh, nope, coming into... Not a lot of attitude control, but it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, I might still have this bigger stage when I get this. A little bit of throttle, try and get back. I'm hoping I'll have better attitude control once I lose this bottom stage. There we go. Whoa. Come back. Come back. Come back. Oh, my SAS is off. That's why. That's why. Over that throttle and almost in orbit. Orbit, so I still got 2,600. This thing can get to like lots of stuff. Let's do it. Let's do it. So, terminate the simulation. We're going to build this thing. Oops. Close. And then I think I'll just use this to do a lot of stuff. Let's just make sure... I'm going to go down through my checklist here. KOS isn't an issue anymore. I'm not putting any science on it for now. Because there's no science for it to collect. So experiments, communications there, electrical storage and generation is there, attitude control. Lights aren't an issue, thrust to weight, it's all fluid. Okay. So checklist goes away. I do want to put my little antenna on an action group, but other than that, I think this guy's ready to be built. So toggle the antenna. Oh, what did I toggle that to? I put it on the stage command. Oh, action group 0. Toggle the antenna. Okay. So save that, and we shall build that. This should add it to the building queue, and we'll also add it to our plans. Okay. Okay. Hello, Richard. Welcome. Glad you can make it. We're going to try and match a specific orbit. That's going to be our plan, I think, for the conclusion of this stream. So we got more tech coming up too. That's coming up soon. And we got the OKTO2. It's only going to take 7 days to build. We also have the tracking station. That's going to take 10 days. I'm thinking next week we're going to go for the moon. But we might use the exact rocket I'm building here. But let's just... time warp some stuff away. So this was early fuel systems. I think that was the bigger tanks, if I'm not mistaken. And then we have flight control and basic science coming up. Oh yes, basic science had all kinds of new science for the next rocket. But what I think I'm going to do is just launch this OKTO2. What I will do though, is just go to plans and just push another OKTO2 in the plan, so it'll start that building. But I think this second one, what we'll do is we'll science that one up. and send it towards the moon. I think that's going to be the plan. Okay, let's warp to the completion of our first OKTO2 and roll that out onto the runway and launch it. We'll see how this goes. Yeah, the reaction wheels are very, very wimpy on this. There's only the what did you say? 0.3 kilonewton meters? Yeah, that's probably about right. The only reaction wheels are in that octo core, but I think I'm okay. I think this thing will be maneuverable enough once I lose the big thing on the bottom. We'll find out, I suppose. Now, one thing is I do have a contract. We shan't forget that. To position a satellite in a specific orbit of Earth. And the satellite has specific parameters that we have to shoot for. And the thing we do have to consider, excuse me, oh, okay, is, yeah, there it is, that blue orbit. Let's turn everything else off. So that blue orbit we has to go for. Now, I'm thinking, because again, our latitude's up here. Oh, we'll never be... I was about to say I should time warp until I'm below that orbit, but that will never ever happen. So what I'm thinking then... Ooh, how am I... No, I'm thinking I'm just going to go for it. I'm thinking, yeah, I got a plan. I'll execute my plan and I'll explain as I go as to how to get to that orbit. But for now, we're just going to go into an orbit. So throttle up, SAS on, move this to here, and actually we can minimize that. And, oh shoot, it had haven't, oh gosh darn flag. Okay, wait, we're going to recover this. Have an accelerometer on the side. I get burned by that stuff like all the time. Don't worry, this won't take long. I get burned by this stuff all the time. Do I have a heat shield for this new rocket? No, it's not going to come back. It ain't coming back. I'm not sure if I have those things unlocked yet anyway. I'm pretty sure SCANsat is on CCAN. I think I installed it that way. Pretty sure. You might have to lower what CCAN considers acceptable. Okay, we're going to recover that rocket. That just takes a couple of hours. And then we're going to go in here, and it's sitting in storage, and we're going to edit it. I always get burned with the no accelerometer stuff. I don't read contracts with enough detail. I just kind of go. Didn't I say at the beginning of this whole series of streams that I was going to go slower? I don't think I'm doing that. That I was going to take my time. I was going to think about what I'm doing. No, I don't do any of that. Okay, so let's open up the contract. So the contract here says that I must have an accelerometer on the satellite, which makes no sense, but that's okay. So we're going to sneak this up in here. Right here. That's where she's going to go. And just because it's bugging me just even to see it, I'm going to hide it in here and go in there. We're never going to use it, so why not? Okay, there we go. So now I do have the double C seismic accelerometer. Now it's going to take 9 days? How can it take 9 days for those... Wow. That's crazy. Why would it take 9 days to just mount an accelerometer on there? I don't know. The workers around here. Okay, we're going to save those changes anyway. 9 days? Okay, let's see. Back to here again. Oh, the tracking station's now going to get done. Oh, I don't know which I think this is the one I just edited. Yeah, it's to take 9 days. Okay, so let's They're going to build a whole new OKTO in less time than it takes. Okay, we got our new tracking station. A whole new OKTO could be built quicker than it takes just to put that accelerometer on the one we're using. That makes no sense. Okay, we're going to try that again. We're trying that again. You can't just get good engineers these days. Okay. So, this is the OKTO 2. Now we do have our accelerometer. All right. Again, I'm going to look at my map here, my orbit. See what I think. Actually, I think, again, I'm in a good spot. And I'll explain that in maybe come a little bit forward. I got this idea. We're going to push. Yeah. I want my descending node of my parking orbit to be underneath the periapsis and then the other node to be underneath the apoapsis. And for that to happen, I'm pretty sure I need to launch so that I'm 90 degrees from the line. Well, I guess that would be the semi-major axis of this ellipse, but the line joining periapsis and apoapsis. I don't know. I'm making this up as I go along. So I'm going to launch here. We're going to go for it. So there, and go. Oh, this game really hates me. It really hates me. Okay, so our engine blew up. That's not our fault, but it does happen. So we're going to recover. This time I'm going to do just a normal recovery. Wow. It does not want us to do this rocket. Well, I do have another one being built, but now that one needs to be edited too. So into here we're going to go. We got to put a... edit that. We got to put the seismic accelerometer on there. There is an option here. I should maybe show this to people. Maybe this isn't a bad idea. Oh, thank you, Dale, for the sub. Okay, we got to put the seismic accelerometer on there. So we got to do that again. We're going to get this one off one way or another. So our first one blew up. Because it just did. Because it's mean that way. We do the same thing. Gonna hide it. Never look at you again. Because there's no science for you to collect anyway. There we go. So that takes care of that. There is an option that if you right click on the engine to change the engine standard to a high standard. So that will increase or decrease the likelihood of an engine failure. But it costs more money and adds weight. Like you can see my delta V going down when I do that. I'm not going to do that. Maybe when I put Kerbals on these things I might do it, but I'm not going to do that. Okay, so again, that's going to take 9 days, 3 hours and 55 minutes to put in those edits. So let's do that. So save. Oh, that's great, Dale. I'm glad some of those videos are helping you get into KSP. There is a really crazy steep learning curve with this game. I honestly don't know how it's expected for people to play this game. Sorry, I'm doing something at the same time here. This is what I want. I want to go to plans. I want to push in another OKTO. I don't know how it's expected for people to play this game without there being a community behind them, to get just the basics on how the stupid game works. Well, it's not stupid. It's just the physics are real, and that makes it hard. Okay, we're gonna try this. This is attempt number 3. Attempt number 3. So the first one was on me. Did not put an accelerometer on it, so I didn't have the contract requirements met. The second one was on the game. My engine exploded. Though I did put on the cheap engine and refused to upgrade it, so I guess that's partially on me too. And now we're going for number 3. Now we're going for number 3. Okay, so OKTO 2. We do have the accelerometer. Okay, do that. Do that. And, oh wait, I want to look at where we are again. Where are we? I'm just going to launch. Let's just launch. So, boom, 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 go. Okay, we're off. We have cleared our tower, not tower. So far so good. Knock this over to the east. And just temporarily take off the SAS and let it kind of go up natural-like. Well, this does make me nervous. I'm going to be really happy when I have the lock to prograde option. I like my lock to prograde option. Oh, I got my time to apoapsis now. That's exciting. That's with the I can say words. The upgrading of the tracking station has given me that. So what I like to do is not let this time to apoapsis get more than a minute away from me. So I'm going to start reducing throttle. Try and sort of keep this time to apoapsis a constant. I find that it's just... I find it's more efficient that way. And especially when you get to the upper part of the ascent, you end up putting a lot of energy into that raising of that periapsis so that your final burn is really much less than it otherwise would be. So I'm keeping it around the prograde vector. And keeping adjusting throttle to keep that time to apoapsis close to a constant. Oh. Prograde vector just hopped over on me. There we go. I do have lock to prograde now. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I thought I upgraded the tech. Okay. Wow. I am a sad, sad boy. Alright, we have lock to prograde now. That's awesome. So I'm just gonna, again, now I'm just playing with the throttle. I'm not working to keep it on the prograde vector. It's doing that all by itself. Okie doke. Okie doke. But you can see now that periapsis really starting to climb. I think that's where this efficiency comes in, so that by the time you're ready to do the final insertion, you have hardly anything left to do. I'm just gonna let this build now. I'm not gonna adjust the throttle anymore until this gets to about 80. Okay. So 70 kilometers on that. I have to, although it says apoapsis, we can use the word apogee now, as we are above the Earth. I like that. So just letting the apogee build up to 80. Almost in space, too. That's good. And then we'll have a teeny tiny little nothing burn to... Okay, that is our space music. We can deploy our antenna. And now I really like that I don't have to guess how close I am to apoapsis. I can see how close I am to apoapsis, so we can get ourselves a little bit closer. little bit more of a burn. We'll be leaving some debris behind. I'm going to keep the fuel that's in this tank. Yeah, I know. Some people really, really hate debris. I just delete it after a while. Figure, you know, as long as part of it's still in low orbit, that eventually it would deorbit in a real game anyway, in the real world. Drag would bring it back down. We'd have no idea where it would come down. It would come down, you know, might come down on someone's house, but that's what Kerbal Space Program is like. We don't care where our boosters come down. Okay, really close to apoapsis, just doing a little bit of throttle here. Oh, I gotta watch it. I only have so many ignitions. Stop being so dense. Oh, I forgot I'm playing with Kerbalism. I can't be that way. There's a limited number of ignitions on this engine. It says now I got 0 ignitions left, so I might not be able to get another ignition out of it because I was being very wasteful there. But we will... Actually, I got a ton of electricity. I don't need to be cautious, do I? No, I don't. Okay. Now let's plot our course out to our orbit. If I lose that, that's okay. So I want to get out to this orbit. You can see it's in a different inclination than I am. So I want to do a burn right under this DN. And it probably would be better if that DN was underneath the PE, but it isn't. That's why I was before talking about, come on, time warping a little bit, but I then just went, nah. So I wanted this AN right on the, or the apoapsis right on the AN is what I'm shooting for. So we'll do a little bit of time changing here. This burn is coming up pretty quick, so I got to be ready for it. Push that up. A little bit more time back this way. Okay, let's just call it, because the burn's coming. The burns are coming. I'm just going to lock the prograde and then I'm going to punch it. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, it ignited, so that's good. And then we're on this little fella. I just locked the prograde rather than go into the maneuver node because I was running out of time there. I'm glad I got that extra ignition out of there. I got to be careful about that. How many ignitions are on this one? 16 ignitions on that little one, so that's cool. Okay, let's watch it from out here. Beautiful. Beautiful. So that's got my apoapsis in the right, you know, close to the right spot. So now I want to do a burn out here near my AN. This will be partially to bring up my periapsis, but partially as well to bring down my inclination. So it's going to be a combined burn like that. And then I should be able to match this orbit. And do I need to get the right argument of the periapsis and all that kind of nonsense? Yes. So the fact that there's an argument of periapsis here and a longitude of the ascending node tells you that you need to get this periapsis and apoapsis and the ascending and descending nodes all in the right spot. So I'll show you how to do that. It's not that hard. Still got to get the inclination down a bit, though. I can see that. So let's put this back on the maneuver. And that I'm just doing by eyeball, the inclination adjustment when I fine tune it. So you can see here my periapsis is out way too, first of all, it's out too far. So I know I got to give myself a little bit of retrograde on that. I got it out too far. But to actually move it from here towards here, use the radial components. And I always guess it, okay, it's radially out, that'll do it. If I sit there and think about it, it makes sense, but I don't like to think, so I just try one and then go, nope, that's too much. I can see that I can give myself a little more here. See, and that's getting it close. And I'm going to go a little past. Give me, there we go. A little bit past. And now I'm going to use a little retrograde to bring that back down. A little more there, a little more there, a little more there. See, and you can nudge those periapsis and apoapsis so they're very close to where they need to be, which they do need to be there because I'm supposed to get a specific argument of the periapsis. I can see my inclination is too much, so I need to come this way. So it's a little bit of playing around, but oh boy, we're already pretty close. And you don't have to be all that close, to be quite honest. A little bit of radialness. Oh, I got this set way too low. Out a little less energy, a little radial this way. Okay. You can already see there's, again, too much energy in the orbit. Radial again. I could tell because... Oh no, I gotta go the other way. The apoapsis was too high. That's pretty darn close. I mean, eyeballing it's going to be close enough. You don't, if it's eyeballed to be the same, then it's good enough. So this is a 586 or 87 meter per second burn. Still got 1961 meters per second left in the vehicle. So this vehicle can do a lot more than what it is doing. Again, I'm going to do a little bit of exposure. See, the reaction wheels are fine. I'm able to slug this thing around without any issues. I'm doing that, by the way, just to demonstrate how good the reaction wheels are. So I knew as soon as I lost that lower half, I'd be able to do this. So I'm going to, again, go onto this north circle and then just adjust it so that it's pointing straight up on the screen. And then that gives me good exposure on those. Okay, so F5, like that. I always do that before I do some time warping. Let's just push the old warp to the maneuver thingy. That should do it. Yep. Warp out there. Goodbye, Earth. Coming around this way. Okay, now I got to find that maneuver node. I love orbital maneuver. I think of all the things in this game, it's fine orbital maneuvering that gives me just the most satisfaction. That and docking and putting things together in space. So we're pointing in a funny direction. There's a little bit of prograde, a little bit of normal, a little bit of radial, a little bit of everything going on in this guy. Just keep fiddling around to get this onto the maneuver node. I can't wait till I get the little ant engines and those kind of things. I like though having a little spark. Okay, 4 and a 3 and a 2 and a 1 and a go. You know, the dedicated orbital type of engines. Okay. And all I got to really look at is look at this condition on this contract and wait for it to go green. As soon as this goes green over here, I'm going to just cut my throttle. You start reducing the throttle as we get close. Oh, there it is. See, the words went green, so now it's just the old wait for 10 seconds. Got my hands all the way, just to prove that I'm in a I'm stable. There we go. Contract is complete. Awesome source. So we got this nice satellite here. Again, positioning it for solar panels, doing absolutely nothing. No science for it to do, but it is, I think, a good proof of concept. It still has almost 1400 meters per second of delta V in it. We can, I can get rid of the maneuver node. That doesn't matter. It can most certainly do a flyby of the moon. It most certainly was that other bigger orbit that we could go to. I got a feeling I'm going to be using this design for this rocket for a few missions to come, but looking at the time of the stream, I think it's going to be time to call this one to a close. So, thank you everybody in the chat. Thank you everybody watching this at a later date. And of course, and as always, a heartfelt and very, very special thank you to all of my Patreon patrons and YouTube members. And also thank you to all those that subscribe and comment and share and all that stuff that helps to feed the algorithms. Have yourself a fantastic week, and we'll see you all again next Tuesday. Bye, everybody.